Finding about 2 to 3 more rounds of breath. Eventually making your way back to that neutral tabletop, stacking the palms below the shoulders, the knees just below the hips. And we'll tuck our toes under here. Start to hover the knees about 2 or 3 inches off of the mat. Draw your low belly in towards your spine and find a gentle tuck of the chin in to elongate through the back of the head, the cervical spine. We're just cultivating a little bit of heat within the body here, still staying connected to the breath. One more inhale. Exhale to wave the hips up and back, finding your downward facing dog, that upside down V shape within the body. Our fingers are spread away from one another here. We're driving our heels down towards the earth. And maybe finding a little bit of natural movement here. You can pedal out your dog, bending one knee at a time. Inviting in space through the backs of the hamstrings. And consciously allow the head to hang heavy here. Eventually, if you're finding movement, start to make your way back to stillness in your downward facing dog. Reconnecting to the breath, maybe finding that 3-part breath, that inhale through the low belly, rising it up through the ribs, and an open mouth exhale, releasing a little bit of heat. Start to lift the heels, place a bend in the knees, and take a slow journey to the top of your mat for a forward fold. And it might feel good to take ragdoll here, grabbing for opposite elbows, gently swaying the head from side to side. And add a really generous bend in the knees here. Maybe think about connecting the low belly towards the thighs. Eventually releasing both hands back down towards the earth. We'll inhale to scoop the chest forward, find a halfway lift, lengthen through the spine, and exhale, fold. Next inhale is a really slow rise up to the top. Think about stacking vertebrae on top of vertebrae. Allowing your head to be the last thing to arrive. Once you arrive here, palms face forward, relax the shoulders away from the ears. And think about stacking the body here, stacking the knees over the feet, the hips over the knees, shoulders over the hips, and the ears over the shoulders. In just a moment, we're going to work into the vertical meridians of the body. So a little bit about the meridians and a little bit of understanding before we begin. So the meridians are pathways that run throughout the body, and they're along the same lines as the fascia pathways. So that is our connective tissue that kind of holds everything together, helps us to move. Those pathways also help deliver lymph through the body. And also it's one of the body's messaging systems. So there's energy and also neurons that run through these pathways and just kind of deliver things to the body. They could become blocked through emotional tension, through physical tension, or body holding patterns. So this tapping technique is going to kind of help shake everything up. So we're going to start with a gentle bend in the knees for a little bit of buoyancy. And then we're just going to start to lean forward. And we're going to take our palms and start to tap on the tops of the feet. So we're starting on our stomach and spleen meridian here. We're just kind of slapping the tops of the feet. Working our way up the fronts of the shins. And then once you reach the knees, work a little more gentle here. Awesome. Start to tap your way up the front of the thighs. We can add just a little bit more force here. Getting everything moving. The fronts of the hip flexors. And then we can make gentle fists here. Go ahead and flex through the abs. And you can work a little bit more here over the digestive tract, where not only do we digest food, but we also digest our emotions. So working your way all along the front of the belly. And then finding those flat palms again, and then tap on the top of the chest. I'll come a little closer for this next one. We're going to work behind the collarbone. So we could use the fingertips here and just kind of tapping right behind the collarbones. We have a lot of lymph nodes here. Tapping the front of the neck, the throat, up the side of the jaw. And then I like to use just one finger here, either the pointer or finger or the middle finger, and then just start to tap your way directly underneath the center of the eye. Yeah, this is where the stomach pathway begins. And we'll work our way back down to the jaw, adding in those additional fingers, front of the throat, fingertips just below the collarbone again. This acupressure point is called empty basin, and it connects the emotions of the head to the physical body. Awesome. Tapping the front of the chest. Working your way back down to the abs. Find those fists again, making those abs and adding just a little bit more pressure. Front of the hip flexors. Add that gentle bend in the knees, tapping the fronts of the thighs. Again, working a little more gently over the knees. Fronts of the shins. All the way down to the tops of the feet. And then take a moment here to squeeze your second toe. This is where those pathways end. Awesome. Now we're going to start to work our way up the sides of the body, gallbladder meridian. So start to make gentle fists, tapping your way up the sides of the ankles, sides of the calves. Sides of the thighs. We can add a little bit more pressure in here. This is an area where we tend to hold a lot of muscle tension. Sides of the hips. And then once we reach the sides of the ribs here, take a deep breath in, expanding through the ribs. And then we're going to kind of just washboard the sides of the ribs here, really getting in between the ribs into those intercostals, dissolving any of that muscle tightness. Awesome. And now we can swing the arms overhead and then start to tap or make gentle fists on the tops of the traps. Gallbladder 21. And then fingertips to the sides of the neck, sides of the face. And then working your way to that temple area. So tapping along the sides of the temple. You could even add a little bit more pressure here, maybe some circles. Releasing and relaxing the tension in the face. Awesome. Starting to work your way back down, sides of the neck, up to the top of the traps. You can even massage this area a little bit if you'd like to, just kind of squeezing and releasing the muscles. And we'll work our way to the sides of the ribs, sides of the body again. Again, find that big inhale, expand through the ribs. And then we're just kind of washboarding out through the sides here. And then starting to tap the sides of the IT band, sides of the glutes. And work your way down the sides of the thighs, sides of the knees, all the way down to the ankle. And then we'll squeeze our fourth toe here. Gallbladder meridian ends here in the fourth toe. Last vertical pathway is going to be our kidney and bladder. So we're going to take those gentle fists to the backs of the heels here, starting to tap on the base of the foot, tapping up the Achilles tendon, backs of the legs, again, a little softer behind the knees, backs of the thighs, back of the glutes, and we could use a little bit more pressure here. So working your way all around the glutes, into the base of the spine here. And then start to work the fists up, coming just below the rib cage into the kidneys. Awesome. Again, we're going to swing those arms overhead and just tap the tops of the back here. And then start to find the tapping motions again with the fingertips, working up the back of the skull, working your way up the back of the head. And then just tapping on that top of the skull here, the crown of the head. The eyes can close down, just noticing how this feels. And then working your way over the forehead, the eyebrows, maybe pressing on that pressure point in the inner eyebrows. And then bringing the finger into the inner corner of the eye, putting a little bit of pressure here for that start of the bladder meridian. We'll work our way back up, tapping on the brows, the forehead, crown of the head. Back down the skull, tapping into our bladder point 10 here. And again, with a bend in the arms, tapping on the upper back. Releasing the arms by the sides again. And then finding that kidney point, tapping just below the ribs, working your way down to the low back, into the glutes, backs of the thighs, backs of the knees, down the backs of the legs, tapping the backs of the heels. And then give your last toe a squeeze here. This is where that bladder pathway ends. And our bladder and kidney pathways are associated with the nervous system, helping to get us out of our fight or flight patterns. And slowly start to make your way up to a standing position. And we'll just take a moment here to observe. Finding stillness, just noticing any energy moving through the body. On your next inhale breath, we'll reach both arms overhead. High mountain pose, draw length through the side bodies. And exhale to cactus the arms, lift the chest towards the ceiling, open up the front line of the body, that stomach meridian once again. Inhale, arms reach overhead. And exhale, we'll hinge at our hips as we start to fold forward. Inhale, we'll find a halfway lift, scoop the chest forward. And exhale, fold, plant the hands, walk the feet back to a high plank pose. Awesome, stay here for that inhale breath. Exhale, it's a big bend in the elbows, slowly lower it down. Flip the tops of the feet, lift the chest into your upward facing dog. And exhale to tuck the toes under, wave the hips up and back, down dog. Taking a few breaths in your downward facing dog. Begin to lift the heels, bend the knees, take a journey to the top of your mat for your forward fold. Inhale is your halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we rise all the way up, high mountain. Drive the fingertips towards the sky. And exhale to cactus the arms. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, we hinge at the hips. Think about drawing the low belly in through forward fold. Inhale to scoop the chest forward, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down. Plant the hands, walk the feet back, either flowing through that high to low push-up again, your chaturanga, or always knowing that you have the option to just meet us in down dog. Once again, lifting the heels, bending the knees, taking your journey to the top of your mat for forward fold. Inhale is your halfway lift. Exhale to fold it down. Inhale, we drive through the heels, reach the arms overhead, high mountain. And exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, arms reach up, high mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale is your halfway lift, that spinal reset. And exhale to fold it down, planting the hands. Walk the feet back. And again, this is your opportunity to flow through your high to low, or to simply meet us back in that downward facing dog. Taking a moment to reestablish your connection to your breath in your down dog. On your next inhale, reach the right leg high for three-legged dog. And exhale to step it through, coming into our warrior one pose here. That back heel pivots down at a 45-degree angle. And we reach the arms overhead. Big bend in that front right knee. Awesome. One breath in here. Exhale, frame that front right foot. Step your foot back, flowing through your high to low. Eventually meeting us in down dog. Right away, we'll find that on the opposite side. As we inhale, we sweep the left leg high. Exhale to step it through, coming into our warrior one. Pivot that back heel down. Sweep the arms overhead. Stay for a big breath in. Breath out to bring the palms back down, frame that front foot. Stepping it back and flowing through your high to low. On your next inhale, we'll sweep the right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale to step it through, coming into your warrior one pose here. We'll hold these just a bit longer. Sweeping those arms overhead. Stay for another breath in. Breath out, sweep the arms behind you, finding a clasp at the low back. Drive those inner wrists towards one another. Inhale to lift the chest towards the ceiling, open up through the front line of the body. And exhale into a humble warrior, starting to drop the chest down towards the inner right knee. And you can think about those arms reaching out over the head. Staying strong in both of the legs here. Softening through the face, the cheeks, the eyebrows. One more strong, steady inhale. Exhale back to warrior one. Reach the arms overhead. Stay for that inhale breath. Exhale into a warrior two, pivoting that back left heel down. Awesome. We'll enter our pericardium stretch here. So we stay in that warrior two. We're just reaching the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Yeah. So bring your attention into the center of the heart. The pericardium meridian and connective tissue is said to protect the heart. So maybe think about extending some of that energy out from the center of the heart through the palms of the hands. One more inhale. Exhale, just release those fingertips down. Reach that right arm up and back, coming into a reverse warrior. Drawing in length through the right side body, space for that right lung. One more inhale here. Exhales, warrior two. Find that breath in. Breath out to windmill the hands down, frame the front foot, step it back, and you have your option here to flow through your high to low push-up, or to simply wave the hips up and back to down dog. Taking a moment here to notice the difference between the right side and the left. And we'll seek balance as we inhale, we lift the left leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale to step it between the hands, warrior one pose. Pivoting that right heel down, sweeping the arms overhead for a breath in. Breath out to find the bind, interlace the hands at the low back. Drive the knuckles down towards the earth, scoop the chest up, take an inhale. And exhale to your humble warrior. Dropping the chest inside of that left thigh. Relax the head. And think about relaxing the palms towards the top of your mat. Again, staying strong and rooted through both of the legs. Holding that strength for one more inhale. Exhale back to warrior one. Sweep the arms overhead. Stay for that breath in. Breath out as your warrior two. Pivot that back right heel down. Finding a nice soft gaze over the left fingers. And think about releasing the shoulders away from the ears here before we enter our pericardium stretch. So whenever you're ready, reaching the fingertips up towards the sky. It's as if you're making stop signs with both of the hands. And focus the breath on the center of the heart here. You might notice a little bit of tingling sensation as we work through our pericardium meridian line, the fascia that surrounds the heart. Gently release the fingertips back down. Reverse that warrior. Reach that left arm up. Reach it back. Still committing to that bend in the left knee. One more inhale here. Exhale's warrior two. Stay for that inhale breath. Exhale to windmill your hands down, frame your front foot. Step it back, flowing through your high to low. And eventually meeting us in down dog. From your down dog, drop the knees down towards the earth. Find child's pose for a moment. Either extending the arms towards the top of your mat to lengthen through the side bodies. Or if you're looking for something more passive, the arms can rest by the sides. Taking a moment here to reestablish your connection with any sensation flowing through the body. Reestablishing your connection to your breath. We have one more standing flow together, so whenever you're ready to go there, plant the palms back underneath the shoulders, lift the hips up and back for down dog. On an inhale, sweep the right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale to step it between the hands. Coming into warrior one. Inhale, sweeps the arms overhead. Exhale, find the clasp at the low back. Drive the knuckles down, lift the chest, inhale. Exhale, humble warrior, just for a full round of breath. On your next inhale, warrior one, reach the arms overhead. Exhale is warrior two. Nice, no pericardium stretch this time. We're here for an inhale. Exhale, we reverse our warrior. Reach that right arm up, reach it back, really lengthening through the right side of the body. And finding that connection to the right lung for one more inhale. Exhale, we're back to warrior two. Awesome, let's pivot the right toes forward, coming into a star pose. So we can reach the arms overhead here. Yeah, so we're kind of just taking up a lot of space. Arms are extended, legs are wider than hip distance apart. And then let's bring the heels in slightly, toes point out, draw the hands to your heart center. And then find a goddess squat, big bend in the knees, dropping the hips down towards the earth. Awesome, we'll find a little breath to movement here. As we inhale, we burst open star pose. Exhale, squeeze the glutes, goddess squat, drop it down. Inhale, sweeps us up, star pose. Exhale, we drop it down, goddess squat. And we're gonna hold this one for about 2 to 3 rounds of breath, engaging through the glutes here. Seeing if you could sink those hips maybe another inch lower. Nice, just one more steady inhale. Exhale, burst open, star pose. Re-pivot those toes forward. The feet are parallel with the mat and one another. And then we'll bring our hands to our low back here. As we inhale, we think about lifting the chest up, gaze up towards your ceiling. And then exhale, hold that arch in the back as you start to hinge at the hips. Release the arms down towards the earth here. And if you'd like to stay here, you can, or if you'd like a little bit of a twist, you can plant the left palm on the earth. Inhale to sweep the right fingertips overhead, coming into a twist, gazing up at that right thumb. Switching things out, bringing the right palm to the earth. Gently peeling that left arm, left shoulder up towards the sky. One more inhale here. Exhale back into that wide-legged forward fold. Release the head. Release your jaw. Soften the eyebrows. On your next inhale, find a halfway lift. Scoop the chest forward. Exhale to fold it down. Start to walk your hands towards the top of your mat as you pivot the feet forward. And then step that right foot back. You have the option here to flow through your high to low push-up or to simply meet us in down dog. And we won't waste any time here. We'll move our way to the opposite side. As we inhale, we sweep the left leg high. Exhale, we step it through, warrior one. Reaching the arms overhead, big breath. Exhale to find that clasp at the low back. Inhale, drive the knuckles down, lift the chest. Exhale into your humble warrior, dropping the chest inside that left knee. And again, we'll just hold this for one round of breath. Next inhale, we reach up, warrior one. Exhale is warrior two, pivot that back heel down. Nice, stay for the breath in. Breath out, reverse the warrior. Reach that left arm up and back, drawing all that energy, that breath flow through the left side of the body. Deep inhale. Exhale is warrior two. Right away, we pivot the left toes forward, coming into that star pose. Reaching the arms overhead, taking up space here. And we'll pivot the heels in, toes out. Stay for an inhale. Exhale to goddess squat. Draw the hands to heart center, big bend in the knees, and we'll hold this one static here. So again, engage through the glutes. You can find a gentle tilt of that pelvis towards the chin here to find length through the back. And you could stay right where you're at, or if you'd like a little balance challenge, maybe lifting the right heel off of the earth. Releasing the right heel, lifting the left. Maybe you're noticing the knees shaking a bit. Left knee drops. Stay for an inhale. Exhale as you release. Reach the arms up. Star pose. Pivot the toes forward again. And we'll bring the hands to the low back. And before we go into this next forward fold, I'm just going to show you one point. This is our bladder 10. So it's going to be right at the nape of the neck where the skull meets the back of the neck. And this point has 2 points actually on either side of the back of the neck. You're going to find 2 little divots here. So we'll be working on that point in just a moment. But before we begin, again, hands are at the low back. We inhale, draw the chest up, find the arch in the back. And exhale to hinge at the hips, or hold the arch in the back. And then release the arms down towards the earth, soften through the spine. And we can bend the elbows, bringing the thumbs to that bladder 10 point. I like to wrap my other fingertips around the top of my skull here. And we're just massaging that point. Bladder 10 is great for headaches, neck tension, head tension, for releasing patterns of fight or flight. And just tapping us into a more grounded, parasympathetic state. Whenever that little massage for the back of the head feels complete, melt the hands back down towards the earth. Inhale to find your halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down. Begin to walk your hands toward the top of the mat. Pivot the feet forward. And step that front foot back. Here is your option to flow through your last chaturanga, your high to low push-up. And we'll eventually all meet in downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, drop your knees down towards the earth. And we'll come into a seat on the heels here. And if that's not comfortable, you can always find a cross-legged seat or something more comfortable. In just a moment, we're gonna work into a abdominal massage. So for this, we're gonna take 2 fists, bringing your fists just below the ribs here into the center of the navel, right around the belly button. And 2 different options. You can just kind of massage here, kind of creating some circles with those palms. Or if you'd like a little more, you can hinge forward here, dropping the chest towards the knees, and continue finding that circle action with the palms. The head can rest on the knees. The elbows can drop down towards the earth. And be very mindful of the breath here. When things are uncomfortable, we have the tendency to hold the breath. You notice any tender points, breathing into them. Massaging our large intestinal tract. Digesting any big emotions. Moving any blockages. Slowly start to lift the head up if you've taken that forward fold. Awesome. We'll work on another acupressure point here. So this is our lung 2 point, and we're gonna move our way along the collarbone into the kind of outer edge of the arm. It doesn't matter what side you work on first. And maybe about an inch underneath the collarbone, you should feel a little indentation. This is lung 2, also known as cloud gate. You can massage around this area using 1 to 4 fingers. Again, focusing in on the breath, noticing any sensations. Cloud gate is a great point to release any heavy emotions, sadness, grief. It's also an area where we tend to hold tension patterns. So maybe just being aware of any muscle tenderness. And we'll switch things out, finding that on the opposite side. Again, working our way to the outer edge of the clavicle, and then lowering the fingers about an inch. And again, you might find a little hole or pocket here that you can massage around. This point is associated with the lung meridian, letting go, liberation. Just noticing anything that might be coming up. Once things feel balanced, release that pressure point. We're going to come into a camel pose here. So coming onto the knees. And in camel pose, I always like to tuck my toes under. I find that that feels more supportive. And before we come into it, let's bring the awareness into the legs. So start to engage the glutes here. Think about squeezing those inner thighs towards one another. And we could start small here. We can just bring the hands to the low back, driving the elbows together and lifting the chin. Or if you want a little more, you could start to lean the head back as you press the hips forward. And again, if you would like a little more, releasing one or both palms to the backs of the heels. As you continue to press the hips forward, squeeze through the glutes and allow the head to drop back. Opening through the front of the neck, the front of the chest. Breathing into those spaces, maybe even breathing into that lung two, that energy of letting go. Continue to stay engaged through the legs here. We'll stay for another 3 rounds of breath. See if you can stick through. Eventually bring the hands to the low back. Slowly start to allow the head to rise up. And then come to a seat on the heels again. We'll keep the spine straight here. Noticing the energy flowing through the front line of the body. And allowing the breath to recalibrate here. Place the hands on the earth here. Swing the legs out in front of you, placing a bend into the knees. And place the hands on the top of the knees to support us. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale as you really slowly unwind down to your back. Allowing the back of your head to be the last thing to arrive. And once it does, driving both knees in towards the chest, giving yourself a big hug. Maybe rocking a little bit from left to right to massage the low back. We'll take a easy twist here. Guide both knees over to the right side. Extend the arms by the sides, palms face down. And then send your gaze out over the left shoulder. Perhaps gazing out softly over that left index finger. This is the start of our large intestine meridian, which runs all the way across the arm, the chest, the neck, the front of the face, and then into that right nostril. Maybe focusing the exhale breaths through the right nostril. Clearing through that large intestine meridian. Softening the knees down towards the earth. And consciously softening through the face. Slowly begin to guide both knees back through center. And then lower them over to the left side. This time gazing out over the right fingertips. Perhaps even a soft gaze out over that right index finger. Tracing that large intestine pathway over the right arm, the chest, the neck, crossing over the mouth and through that left nostril. Slowly guide the knees back through center. Coming into a happy baby pose here, stamp the soles of the feet towards your ceiling, grabbing for the ankles, the shins, or the calves, and flexing the toes towards the face here. If your low back is on the earth, maybe you find a gentle, playful sway from side to side. And then keeping the feet stamped towards the ceiling, draw the legs long, coming into legs up the invisible wall. Again, still flexing the toes towards the face here, allowing all that fresh oxygenated blood and lymph to make its way back towards the heart center. Gently begin to draw the knees back in towards the chest. Giving yourself a final hug will really kind of pull everything in here. Maybe grab for opposite elbows, draw the forehead up towards the knees. And consciously inviting in a little bit of tension through the full line of the body. Maybe gripping the toes, the hands, squeezing everything in. Take a full belly breath in, holding at the top for 3, 2, 1. Open mouth, let it go. Slowly release the body down towards the earth. Finding a comfortable pose for Shavasana. Allowing yourself to take up space on your mat. Consciously releasing any tension through the body. Letting go of control of the breath. Softening any tension through the forehead. Unfurling through the brows. Soften your cheeks. Release your jaw. Soften the front of the throat. Allow the shoulders to sink into the mat. Relax through the arms, the palms. Letting go of any grip you might be holding on to. Relaxing your upper back, mid back, low back. Relax the hips, legs, ankles, feet and toes. Knowing that for the next minute or so, there's nowhere else you need to be. Allowing yourself to relax and receive. Slowly allow the awareness to return back to your physical body. back to your breath. Beginning to make any subtle movements, wiggling your fingers, your toes. Eventually inviting in some larger movements, rotations of the ankles, the wrists. We're reaching the arms overhead, taking a full body stretch to re-energize. Before slowly drawing the knees back through the center, making your way onto your favorite side for a fetal posture. With the eyes still closed down, the body still slow and heavy, beginning to press yourselves up to a comfortable seat. Once you're in that comfortable seat, placing one hand on the belly, opposite hand on the heart. Taking this opportunity to fully reconnect back to your physical body. And a reminder that when we take these moments, these pauses in our busy day to day to reconnect, to return to us, in return, we can connect deeper to those around us. We'll end this practice with one last round of collective breath. A deep inhale through the low belly, the ribs, the heart, and an open mouth to let it go. Thank you all so much for sharing your Saturday morning with me. It's been really incredible to see you all virtually. And I'm here for anything, for any feedback, suggestions for the future, questions, here or online as well.
Thank you so much, Laura. That was great.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.
It was so good to see you.
So good seeing you too. Tell the family I say hello.
I will. I sent my mom the link. My grandma and my mom's aunt are in town right now, so I think they're busy
Aw.
this morning, but she was so excited when I told her, so I'm sure they'll be around.
Yeah, I would love to see them.
Yeah, I'll definitely send it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So good seeing you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was amazing seeing you.
Yes, it was. How is it? How was your drive over there? And how's it
We got
there?
so lucky with our drive. The weather
Oh,
was
nice.
perfect. We hit absolutely no traffic. I don't even
Oh,
know
that's
how
so
we
great.
got so lucky, but we did.
That's awesome. We're actually moving back to Florida in March, so we're gonna be driving back all like that way too. We're trying to go
Yeah,
to like we're gonna go a little bit south to White Sands National Park, and then we're gonna go back like through like North Texas to Oklahoma and like Arkansas and stuff.
was our drive.
So, oh, that's why I wanted to ask you. I was like,
Yes,
did you? I wonder if she went the same way.
we did, and I'm happy to answer any questions. But yeah, we did. Amarillo,
Yeah,
Texas was the northern
that's what.
panhandle.
That's where I'm looking at stopping to. Yeah.
I have the best Airbnb there. It was $50
Ooh.
and
Oh my
it,
gosh.
it was pet friendly, so cheap.
Oh, that would be so great.
It didn't really have any fancy amenities and it was a little bit like,
No, yeah.
but I'll send it to you because
Those
she,
are, yeah, that would be
yeah,
perfect.
yeah,
That would be great. Yeah, I'll message you. I'll message you.
yeah. I'm excited for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'll see you again. This is every week?
Yes, every Saturday.
Okay.
There's one Saturday coming up that I won't be here, but I'll be in San
Yeah.
Diego that Saturday.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Okay, great.
we have a couple things going on. I have to do a better job of sharing it online, but we're going to be there pretty much. It's like Valentine's week.
I think I did see
Um,
that. Yeah.
And I'll be
Mm.
teaching at the Cliffs that 18th, and I'll have
Oh, great.
an event called the Energetics of Emotion, which is a 2-hour workshop that is
Oh,
Meridian yoga based, and a
nice.
lot of fun things coming up.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, tell everyone
I'll
I say
message
hello.
you.
Tell your
Yes, I will. Yeah, and
boyfriend.
Shantique.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'll tell them that I did this and they'll be excited to hear how you're doing.
I
Thank
hope to
you.
see you when we come visit.
Yes, I hope so too. Hopefully I can come. I think I should be here then. So yeah.
If not, we'll connect virtually.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Bye. Have a good
Bye.
day.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.